Hello guys, welcome. Today we are going to watch a video from Kirk where he destroys college students who think that men can get pregnant. Let's jump straight into the video and watch.
Transgender who have gone to the reconstructive surgery.
So this is a lie, right? To believe that allowing a child to castrate themselves is somehow doing them a favor is like so incredibly sick and twisted.
You have to keep in mind that the child has to get permission from their parents to do
No, they don't. Bingo.
In southern states, they do.
So you're right. In Arkansas, it's the case. Not in California, not in Oregon, not in Washington. It can be done without parental consent. You could transition, get puberty blockers without your parent notification and consent. So just right here in this state, an 11-year-old can go to a therapist, get puberty blockers without their parent knowing, and change their gender and block the process of becoming a fully mature man or woman. That's wrong. It's morally wrong. So the question is, what does it matter, right? How does this implicate all of us? I believe the strong have a moral obligation to protect the not as strong. Men have an obligation to protect women. They do.
That's the problem.
Hilarious.
Okay, I like how you pointed that out. I like how you pointed that out. Because that
Sure? They just laughed? Charlie said men have the obligation to protect women. It's funny to them. What? Well, let's get back to the video.
directly into the social roles and social expectations
Okay,
that we
yeah.
have been
So
experiencing for thousands of centuries.
let me ask you a question. So if I, as a man, walk into the women's locker room right now, is there something wrong with that?
I'm glad you brought that up because you have no statistics to prove that. In fact,
No,
99% of
I'm
sexual
asking.
assaults are men against women, cisgender and heterosexual men against women.
You're proving my point.
Non-transgender
Hold on.
men.
You're proving my point.
There's no statistic.
Hold on a
against
second.
that.
You just said men assault women.
Cisgendered and heterosexual men.
You're right. So that's the point. The point that
But you have
men
no statistics
are
of
likely
transgender men.
to
You
assault
have no
women,
statistics
and
of
therefore men must restrain other men from assaulting women, therefore prevent men who think they are women
Those
from
men are
using
using
women.
No, you're doing a loophole right now. What the is that?
How many reports are there of transgender women assaulting other women?
Right
Thousands and thousands and
Can you
thousands.
Show us.
I have a BBC statistic stating
Loudoun
that
County,
99%.
Los Angeles County, Loudoun County, Virginia, two-time rapist goes into a bathroom,
the name of
rapes
the
a classmate. I don't know the name of the rapist. Loudoun County, Virginia, happened a couple months ago.
Transgender people, that's a cisgender person.
No, it's not. No, it's a transgender person. But let's take rape and all that stuff aside, which is a big deal. From a fairness standpoint of how we structure society, are we going to acknowledge that men are better at some things than women and women are better at some things than men, and that men can't become pregnant, and therefore we should have different dividing lines in society to recognize that material reality?
Males can become pregnant. Males. There's a difference between male and female and men and women. There's a clear
Wait, I'm
difference
sorry,
between those
men
two.
can become pregnant?
No, I'm not saying men can become pregnant, but there's a difference between men and women and male and female.
So males can become pregnant.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Sex regards to male and female, the biological aspects in regards to whether someone can reproduce or not. A man and a woman is regard to like the cultural meaning in which you can either
Right. So okay, this is
feminine
right. Okay, that's what you're saying. So you guys are regurgitating this insane New Age propaganda that somehow you could just kind of change your biological reality.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
No, it is.
propaganda. For thousands of years, there have been social
But
expectations
here's the thing.
against men and women, and finally,
I got it.
we've been
So
changing that.
regardless
It's
of
not- it's not rigid anymore.
regardless of all this pablum, you're wrong.
I don't.
You do
haven't
not-
proved, you have not proved that I'm wrong. You have no logic.
Okay, so let me prove it to you, okay?
Okay.
So if you could change your gender, which you say you can,
Yes, you
can
can.
you change other things at your will? For example,
Because gender is not rigid. That's
I'm
what I'm
asking.
saying. You can't change
Okay,
your sex.
so
Gender is
what-
not
I'm
rigid, though.
asking.
It's a social and fluid expectation.
right, so so are other things fluid and social?
No, race is not fluid. Race
Oh,
is
it's
rigid.
not? Okay, so you can't change your race.
No, you can't.
Okay, can you change your age?
No, you can't change
But
your
why
age.
not? What if you
And
have a
you can't
mental
change your
condition?
sex either, which is what you're referring to. Male can be female.
I'm comparing to
That's-
both. I'm saying there's no difference in sex and
No,
gender.
there is.
And you've all been
There
lied to your whole
is.
life.
Gender is
That
the
every-
social
that
expectation.
everyone- that-
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
No,
That's the
I am,
problem.
and I have sympathy
Okay,
because
okay.
you your whole life have been propagandized to believe
Can I get
that
your
you
whole
can raise
life-
your hand and believe something that you're not.
Wow. Wow. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? I mean, it's clear, you know? These guys didn't want to have a debate. No. They just want to talk over, anyone who is disagreeing with them. Can you imagine this? Ladies and gentlemen, the very fact that this conversation even happened shows how society has fallen, especially in the Western countries, most particularly America. Can you imagine? This conversation was even happening. Oh man. What? You know, the funny thing, that at some point in life, these kids will have to face reality. You know, come out of this bubble, you know, under which they live now, and face the real world. I just can't imagine this. Ladies and gentlemen, these are college students. These are people who are in the colleges, in the universities. And because of that, the insinuation is they're supposed to be intelligent, you know, smarter, you know. Whoa. Whoa. The very fact that these kids are the future of America is frightening. I mean, it is frightening. Wow. Wow. You know? I mean, it's insane to listen to them, you know, speak on this subject, you know? Oh my word. I say to Mr. Charlie Kirk, you know, keep on preaching, brother. Keep on standing for what's right and what's true in those beliefs. Yeah. We need people like Mr. Charlie, especially in this generation where we live now. You know? Oh my word. What's happening to the schools? What's happening there? The very fact, you know, that they laughed at Charlie when he said men are supposed to protect women. Oh my God. It was funny to them. Can you imagine? Whoa. Oh my goodness. What a generation this has become. What a generation. You know, in life, people are supposed to move forward, you know. People are supposed to be advancing, you know, the same way we're advancing in other areas, technology, things of that kind. We're also supposed to advance, you know, in human growth. In other words, intelligence, you know, knowledge, you know. And the evidence for that is becoming better and better. But when you see these colleges producing this type of reasoning from these college students, you know, it leaves a lot to wonder. It's like a moral decadence, a moral decay, you know, of the society. And that's very troubling. That's very troubling. Oh my word. Oh my word. You know, one guy once said, if you tell a big lie long enough, people will end up believing it as long as it is repeated and repeated and repeated. So it's actually possible for people to believe a lie as long as it's told long enough and repeated over time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the very fact that this type of generation, you know, may end up choosing the government, I mean, I just can't fathom that reality. Yeah. It's sad, but it could be true. This generation, him and the rest that it represents, may actually be the guys who end up choosing the government, you know, of the country. Can you imagine that? I mean, just think about it for a second. Can you imagine that? Huh? You know, I think it's high time we start questioning, you know, public schools, you know, and the curriculums of colleges, you know. Yeah, because people usually don't just get stupid on their own. No. No, there has to be some form of training that happened, you know. Yeah. Because usually these people or this type of, you know, students, they're usually just recipients of, you know, a brainstorming or a brainwashing rather. Recipients of a brainwashing. Yeah, it's time we start questioning the schools, you know, the curriculums, you know. Yeah, it's high time. especially as parents. Oh yeah, this is big. This is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. It is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, remember Romans 1, verse 22. It reads, professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. Yeah, I mean, that's typical of the situation here. You know? Yeah, it's typical situation here from this video that we just watched. How terrible. How sad. What has become of our societies? Oh man, this is heartbreaking, you know? Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Well, it is my desire and hope, you know, that someday these kids will discover the truth for themselves and be able to lead a productive life.